It began like any other late-night hangout. Ronaldo and I had just finished work and decided to check out an old house that was being refurbished on the outskirts of town. It wasn't far from my place, and the owner had asked if I could give him some advice on renovations. I thought it was just another harmless errand, but I couldn't have been more wrong. The house stood shrouded in darkness, its outline barely visible against the dim glow of the street lamp outside. "Creepy place, isn't it?" Ronaldo joked, nudging me as we stood at the gate. I shrugged it off, but something about the way the wind rustled through the overgrown trees felt unnatural. As we stepped inside, the air grew heavy, and a faint smell of mildew filled my nostrils. The floorboards creaked under our weight, each step sounding louder than the last in the oppressive silence. The house was mostly empty, dusty furniture, peeling wallpaper, and a single dim light bulb hanging from the ceiling. While Ronaldo wandered into the kitchen, I inspected the living room. That's when I noticed it. Faint footprints in the dust. They weren't ours. My heart skipped a beat as I called out to Ronaldo, but my voice sounded weaker than I'd intended. "Must be the workers," he said casually when he joined me, but his face didn't match his tone. We followed the footprints, which led to a narrow hallway at the back of the house. The further we went, the colder it got. "Feels like we're walking into a freezer," Ronaldo muttered, rubbing his arms. I nodded, too uneasy to respond. The footprints ended at a door, an old, warped piece of wood with a rusted handle. "Let's check it out," Ronaldo said, already reaching for the handle. "No," I blurted out, surprising myself. But Ronaldo was already opening it. The door creaked open to reveal a small room with walls covered in scribbled writing. Words and symbols I couldn't understand were carved into the wood, overlapping in chaotic patterns. In the center of the room was a table with a candle, its flame flickering despite the absence of any breeze. "I don't like this," I whispered. "Relax, it's just some weird decoration," Ronaldo replied, though his voice lacked conviction. Then we heard it, a faint, rhythmic tapping coming from somewhere in the house. We froze, exchanging nervous glances. The tapping grew louder, more erratic, until it sounded like it was coming from right outside the door. Ronaldo grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the exit. But before we could leave, the candle suddenly went out, plunging the room into darkness. "What the—" Ronaldo began, but his words were drowned out by the sound of the door slamming shut behind us. I fumbled for my phone, using its flashlight to illuminate the room. That's when I saw it. A figure standing in the corner, its face obscured by shadows. It didn't move, didn't make a sound, but the sheer malice radiating from it was enough to paralyze me. Ronaldo yanked me toward the door, and together we forced it open. We sprinted down the hallway, the sound of footsteps chasing us, echoing loudly against the walls. The air grew colder with every step, and the shadows seemed to stretch and twist unnaturally, reaching out toward us. By the time we reached the front door, it too was stuck. Ronaldo slammed his shoulder into it repeatedly, shouting in frustration. I turned back, shining my flashlight down the hallway, and there it was, the figure, standing motionless but somehow getting closer with every passing second. Finally, the door gave way, and we stumbled out into the night. The moment we crossed the threshold, the oppressive cold lifted and the air felt lighter. But when I turned back to look at the house, it was dark and silent, as if nothing had happened. We didn't speak on the drive back. Even now, I can't explain what we saw, and I'm not sure I want to. But one thing is certain, I'm never stepping foot in that house again.